Hi, everyone. I am officially live. Got to get my angles right. I'm live on Facebook and YouTube and LinkedIn and IG. So, welcome to all my audiences. Thank you so much for joining. This is part 6 of my live stream series, Black, Brown, and Beyond Exhausted, where I go deep into the nuances of burnout for leaders of color. And so, I'll always start at the top. I gave my story of my bout of burnout. The first video, we explore how it looks in real life for most people. We untangled the historical roots of why our burnout is different and the cultural messages that keep us in this cycle. And I also talked about what it looks like on the other side and debunking the myths. I think we're up to video 6. So today on video 6, I am excited to share with you the behind the scenes process of how I help my clients shift out of burnout and transform their life. This is the same strategies I used on myself. So I'm confident. I'm confident in it, as well as I have clients that actually say that they have sought transformation. I use this across all of my services, whether it's the productivity retreat, I do a leadership retreat. My first leadership retreat I held this year, in my private coaching sessions, in my group coaching sessions, in my workshops. All of my approach is really embedded in all the services that I give. And so the one word that I could use to describe my approach is self-management. So I started off as a productivity success coach. I still do that, but most people think about time management. There's no such thing as time management. There's no such thing as you can't control the time. You can't control the people. So the only thing we can control ourselves is ourselves. It's self-management. That's how we can make the best use of our time. That's how we could react and not respond and not react. Because we're in these toxic environments and because finance and career is so intertwined with our identity and our career, our identity, our career, our finances, all of that's intertwined. So sometimes, even though we're in the bad situation or we want to make the change, sometimes we can't. That's in real life. And so, even at the point of my burnout, I was ready to go and escape without a parachute. Right? I was ready to just leave it all. And so, I acknowledge the reality. I can't go to these people's job and make them hire me. I can't make them read my resume. I can't force them to interview me. So what do I do when I'm just, stuck in a situation? I'm trying to get out. Nobody's responding. I'm unhappy. I could stay there or I could do something to take control of what I can control. And so even as a cognitive researcher, cognitive psychology researcher, teaching, learning expert, and I'm going to throw in the biology piece there. I know how powerful self-management is, and that's about the only thing we can control. So, in a world where everything can burn us out, the only thing we can do is protect ourselves. And so we burn out because we fall short of our potential when we try to control time and people. I know that's where the source of my anxiety came from, is because I had all of these ifs. What if I overanalyze? And so once I was like, Erin, you can't do anything about anybody else. What can you do? And so we also burn us out because we let everything control us, whether it's past trauma, whether it's the news, whether it's people's attitudes, opinions, or society's expectations. We even let our own negative thoughts control us and we don't even notice. And so when we let outside factors impact how we think, feel, and behave, we find ourselves just existing and thriving. We're just there. We're not doing anything on our own accord. So in order to thrive, we have to do it on our own terms, and we have to do it as the best version of ourselves. In my latest book, Live Wiser, The Ultimate Guide to Adulting, I had a whole section there where I said, you have to find your own pace. You got to march to your own drum beat. You cannot let everybody else control how you pace your life and yourself. And so if we think about in terms of self-management can apply to, this is, let me back up. Escaping out of burnout is no different than becoming a proficient writer or proficient musician or proficient athlete or successful in something. It still requires discipline, thought change. We have to change our behaviors and actions. So success in any area is the same. We just have to apply it differently. So in this vein of escaping burnout and succeeding and thriving in all our well-being spaces, we have to manage ourselves. If we focus on our boss and our colleagues and this and that, and even the systemic injustices that we are often fighting, no matter if we are in DEI or not, as people of color, we're always fighting in some aspect to levelize the playing field. We have to realize that we probably won't see the change in our lifetime, but we can measure what we do now and how we put ourselves out. And so it goes back to self-management. And so in exploring the process of how I do this, I really have 5 steps. It's super simple, but I tailor it to everybody who I meet and meet them on an individual level. Why? Because I found out that most coaching, when I research coaching or success tips or productivity tips, is coming from somebody who doesn't look like me and hasn't lived the experiences that I have, don't have the thought patterns or the cultural messaging that sometimes we're programmed by. So I wanted to make sure this process met every need and could be tailored to every person. So I don't have a specific guide of like, do this and it'll work. No, we're going to figure out what your life is, what ticks, what's working, what's not. And we're going to figure out a unique situation or unique solution for you. So my process is discover. I'm a scientist, so I like to learn. But that part is also based on research, self-awareness, self-reflection, self-evaluation. Yes, it's all about self-management. You have to figure out how you tick. So what's in this evaluation process? What do you need to discover? And so as you are reflecting on the year end, this is a great time for you to reflect and discover, whether it's you just getting quieter, journaling, or just thinking about certain things on your drive to work without the music. Just ponder on some of the things. This is a great place for you to discover. If you ask yourself, if someone asks you, who are you? Not what do you do, but who are you? Can you answer that question? What is your purpose? Can you articulate it? What is your mission? Like, why are you here? This is bigger than our everyday selves. And so we have to kind of zoom out and then go back to the details. Discovering your strengths, discovering your values. Why? Because most times we are working in a place that working against our value system and our beliefs. We're working out of our lane, our strengths, which is burning us out. We're not saying no because we have this want to do work twice as hard, and I got to be seen. We're hopping on every committee, every project. I can do that. Yeah, I can do that. And that's not even something we want to do or can do really well. So we spend all of our energy trying to work against our own strengths instead of focusing, I do this well. I'm gonna focus here to strengthen that. I'll let people know that this is in my lane. I'll big up people who are in this area that I'm weak in. I will ask for help. I'll build a resource and I'll say, no, that's not really my area, but such and such, they do really well. And so you're able to focus and hone your energy. We're also discovering your priorities. Most times we don't even think about what's important to ourselves. We think we do, but can we really articulate it? And so it was when I said, okay, I'm a church girl. I know where my power comes from. I always have to keep God first. How does that look? I'm a leader at heart in my church. That's where I want to focus my energy. So if I'm going to accept a leadership position and do it all, I'm going to make sure this time and area is focused here. I want to make time for family. What does that look like? making sure I call all of my family at least once a week, or making time to go visit them, or making time when they ask me to do something to do that. So that's something that I do. I'm watching um who pours into me, and where my energy goes, and who do I need to connect to. And I'm reevaluating friendships and other things that I may be giving that may not come back to me. So that's all in discovery phase. What's burning you out in your own situation? What are your strengths? What are your values? We map all of that out. I even go as far as, what are you eating? What are you drinking? How are you sleeping? When are you exercising? What do you do for fun? How are you spending your time? We talk about money. We talk about everything. We talk about everything in this discovery phase. So not only I can know my client, but they can know themselves better. Step 2 is reset and recalibrate. So sometimes we have to, once we figure out and we track our habits in this discovery phase, we can get a good picture of, am I just saying something and is it real when I'm living it, right? And so the reset and recalibrate, we take all the data and we start to analyze it. We start to unlearn some of those bad thought patterns that may be leading us leading us into the habits that are counterproductive. And also, we just have to recalibrate some of the things that we've been operating by. We don't know. We probably do know where we got them from. Most of them from our family, society. Well, I thought this is where it should be. Pick up bad habits from bosses, trauma from workplaces, trauma from home. Our experiences shape our decisions. And so we break all of that down and recalibrate, and we go back to what is true, what is correct. We introduce new information. We try to analyze all of those cultural messagings that we've been operating by, and put in place, what are the things that I need to think on that are true, really true, that I can start to act accordingly by. So the third is plan and act. And this is where that goal setting comes in. It's not the vision board type of goals, but it's that goal that feels real. So by the time we end, my clients will have down to the task list for each day, how to block out your time. How do you monitor your time? What does your day look like? What does your week and your month look like? Does everything have its place? And then we even talk about, this is probably not going to work in real world, and you already know what's going to be a barrier to you being successful. So we go on the flip side. If it's working out, we say, what causes you not to work out? My clothes are all over. This is me. I'm coaching myself. My exercise clothes are somewhere in the pile of laundry that's all over my guest room. And so when I think about going to pick something up, I just don't feel like it. Or I get distracted in the morning. So maybe I don't, maybe I have to put my phone down, go for a walk, do something that takes me away from technology so I can have a solid start to my day. And so we build in what I call these insurance practices that protect you from yourself until you're able to get in some new habits. And then fourth, we monitor, we evaluate, and we refine and we repeat. So this is all about continuous improvement. You won't be perfect from the start, and it's all about that progression every time, every day, just getting better. You might slip, but it's all about getting back up and resetting. Sometimes I have to reset in the middle of a day. Sometimes it's like, okay, morning didn't go great. I had a donut, didn't go walking. I had no water. I am tired. Let's start over. It is lunch. Let me pick something different to eat. Let me go for the walk I was supposed to take this morning. Let me reset and reflect that I was supposed to do this morning. Let me pray or listen to a sermon. I have sometimes resetting in the day, but having a space to know that perfection is not the end goal. It is the progress. That's a safe space, especially for the people who are perfectionists, have a lot of anxiety behind, or that's the reason why they can't keep up consistent habits. And then number 5, accountability and thought partnership. Once, sometimes all these ideas are stuck in our head, but if you have that one person, even for me and my coach, I was thinking too hard on something, and she was just like, oh, Erin, just like this is all you have to do. And I was like, that makes so much sense. And so thought partnership is definitely something, and accountability, having someone there to know your goals and can check in and say, hey, just checking in this week, how is it going? And having a safe space to say, you know what, this is a bad week. Colleagues got on my nerves. I reacted badly. I haven't been getting any sleep, took work home. I haven't brought my water bottle with me. I noticed that I wasn't, hydrating myself, and I really felt the difference when I'm not doing what I'm supposed to. And so we say, okay, well, how do we get back to that? And that's the process. Discover, figure out how you tick, how you operate. Think of reprogramming and inserting new information so you can you can adopt brand new habits and strategies. And we also, for the leadership piece of it, we also talk through strategies, high impact strategies to get more stuff done with less effort. You're gonna have to work for it, but it will be less effort, but you'll see more, a better outcome. So it doesn't feel like you're working, you're like running in sand or cement, right? And so discover, reset, plan and act, monitor, evaluate, and accountability and thought partnership are the 5 kind of key steps I take most of my clients through. And so you can adopt that in your own life. So you discover, use that MBTI, those results if you haven't. Take accountability, journal, do some self-reflection questions, figure out and articulate what you really want out of life. What are your priorities? What is your mission? What are your values? What do you truly believe that's non-negotiable that you will not go against? That's a journal, some journaling and activity and work you can do towards the end of the year. You can also reset and recalibrate. Read more books. Try to venture outside of your comfort zone and confront your thoughts. Just everything you think, if you say, I should be that way, ask yourself three reasons why I believe that. It's just resetting, recalibrating. Actually set a plan and act on it, but also give yourself grace and monitor your progress, celebrate your wins, reset and pick up when you need to, and then find an accountability partner and a thought partner who can help you along the way. So it's not necessarily my process. You can follow these steps to transform your life, whether it's in multiple areas or just one that you want to improve on coming up to 2024. So what does the end goal really look like? What are we striving for? How does this look? So here are some things, some end goals that my clients have had, but I have had, and it just ties everything together. So once you exit burnout and you adopt these strategies, you go through the process of discovering, and you on this continuous improvement track, what will your outcomes be? What does this transformation look like? So 1, you are clear about your strengths and purpose and priorities. And this helps you to streamline your life, saying no to people, things, and places that don't concern you. So this helps you to clean house, whether it's actually cleaning out your house, cleaning out your budget, streamlining your contacts, streamlining your social calendar and agenda, clearing out your social circles. This helps you make better decisions with your money, your time, and your energy. It is all connected. Sometimes we just add stuff to our calendar and say yes to things, and we know we have other stuff to do, and we just don't stop and say, is this the best use of my time? Right? Is there another way I can show, or do they even deserve for me to show up for them, for me to give my money for a gift, for me to give my time, and is it worth it for me? You have to start asking yourself those questions. Number 2, because you know your values, your value and your values, and can articulate what you bring to the table, you can advocate for yourself in the job market, not settle for toxic or unfit places. And you're able to manage up and down and get things done because you communicated exactly what I need. I can communicate to my staff, I am an introvert, so I need downtime. So be patient with me as with different things in terms of after work socials or this or that, or just you might see my door closed for a minute, but after a while it'll open up once I've had my time to just renew myself. So number 3, when you streamline your life and only focus on your priorities, you have more time, energy, and money to do the things that are important to you. So you're able to put more time into things that energize you and motivate you, and spend less time on things that drain your energy. So you're able to do on both sides of the spectrum. So you have more energy, got a little bit more energy to work out and focus and set yourself up. It takes time to set yourself up to exercise. You gotta, get your fly gear. You gotta wash it, make sure it's folded. You gotta meal prep. You got to make sure you got your water bottles are clean. You got for me, it's a little fanny pack when I go out in the morning. The little things trip me up. So you have more energy to focus on that. And that's where your time, even if it's 10 minutes, even if it's the afternoon you have to put off to get yourself set up for success, you have more energy for that. Number 4, you are more focused and less weighed down. You pay attention to your thoughts, your emotions, and your habits. You're more agile and resilient to challenges. So if you're less weighed down, and especially if you are the problem solver in your family, if you're a empathetic person, or if you're strong empathy, you're a feeler, you'll be taking on other people's problems and you don't know it. But if you streamline and you set your boundaries, you're going to be more you're going to have more energy and focus to develop for you, so you can feel less weighed down, right? Emotionally and mentally, that's super, super important. Number 5, you're rested and clear, so you can proactively respond to challenges instead of letting them get the best of you. So when we're tired and we're hungry and we're thirsty and we're defeated, even in terms of a day, we like everything feels like a mountain. But when you are rested and you are clear and you're focused, you can, like those, you'll be like, yeah, that's the problem. We'll cross it when we get to it. It's no big of a deal. You can, find a solution that quick. But when you're tired, it just seems like World War III, right? Number 6, I think I'm getting these numbers correct. Number 6, you value your health, so you can make better choices to position yourself for high performance. You set things so making positive choices are a little bit easier. So it's all about setting, like not giving yourself a choice, but streamlining and aligning your life so you can make easier choices. I don't keep junk food in my house because I know I have a sweet tooth. And if I want something, I have to make it. And I have the right things in my pantry to make things. And if I really, really want it, you're going to have to get out, spend your gas money, put on the bar, go to the gas station and get it. If you really want it, do you really want it? Nope. All right. Well, let me drink this water. Go sit down. So I've made it to where there's the only option for me is positive choices, right? And that helps with decision fatigue. Number 7, I'm laughing because I feel like I'm President Bush with number B. But number 7, because you're in a better place physically, mentally, and emotionally, you are more focused at work. You're kinder to yourself, so you have more grace for others. This is super important. If you don't show yourself grace, you can't give others grace. If you can't understand your weaknesses and how you try to strive to overcome them, then you won't do that for others. And that makes or break the team trust. If you are a leader, if you're an entrepreneur building a company culture, you have to work on this yourself. So, and if people trust you and they can see that you value and giving them grace, you can get more things accomplished with higher quality, quicker with higher quality. You're more energized in your career and you can lead with more confidence and on your own terms. If you're leading authentically in your own strengths and you let people know this is what I can do best, this is when I operate my best, you can do more and get more support. And lastly, 2 more, you are more present and sensitive to your loved ones. So I can remember some of my biggest regret is that I was so caught up in whether it's grad school or going to study that I just I just ran out of church. Like if I visited my home church, I would run out of church and like I gotta get back on the road. I have to get back to it. I was just so focused or so like just frazzled that I missed opportunities to really have those experiences with loved ones who are now passed away. And so even if you're burnt out, you might not be as attentive to your kids or patient with your kids or patient with your partner or patient with your mom and dad who are getting older or any of your loved ones. And so when you are out of this burnout cycle, you're present, you're clear-headed, you're emotionally well, you're mentally well, you can be more sensitive and present with the ones you love because you cut out all the other noise and you only left space for that which is important to you. You focus your attention to those who pour into you, and this may not have any blood relationship to you or friend. It could be somebody who shared a post or who's continually supporting you on social media. You may spend that time reaching out and just say, hey, how are you? What can I do for you? That is important to supporting and growing relationships in your network. And relationships are currency. They are better than money. And lastly, as you streamline your life and quit the ripping and running, your finances will follow as you make more conscientious choices about spending. So when you're ripping and running, you're going here, you're going there, you're not thinking about all those happy hours add up, all those brunches add up, all of it, like just going and going and going and going and going, they add up. And so if you're not strategic, and like my pastor says, you got to tell your money where to go. If you're not strategic and you're not thinking about priorities and putting, if they're important to you, you're going to put everything behind it. You're gonna find yourself financially drained because you're not thinking about where your money is going. You don't even have the energy to do it or space to think about it. So those are the transformations. That's how all of these things work together. We can't separate our body and mind from work. We can't separate our home and work from each other because we work so we can have a home and support the people we love. So we can't operate in these compartments and separate it out. That's what's tiring us out. We can't think about it in one dimension. We are human beings and we have body, mind, and soul. And we operate not by ourselves, but interdependently. So you have to think about all these things. They're all connected. Your career, your finances, your physical health, your social. Hi, Dr. Parker. Thank you for joining me. They're all connected. Your community, your social network, your social circle. We can't do with any of this. And so when even one falls off, our quality of life drops. So if your finances are low, your quality of life drops. If you're unhappy in your career, you're not doing what you love, or even any alternative of that, your quality of life drops. If you don't have great relationships, whether it's friends or family or supportive circle who encourages you and helps you grow, your quality of life drops. If you don't connect to your community and feel like you're making an impact, that's a part of your quality of life drops. And so if you are a well leader, whether a business owner, pastor, teacher, educator, doctor, anybody who's leading over people, if you're not well in any of those areas or you're not striving to get improvement in all of those areas, that is going to show in how you show up in your performance. So we have to look at the whole picture, develop a holistic solution for full transformation and a permanent exit from burnout. And so if this resonates with you and you want to do more and go further on this journey of exiting from burnout and seeing a transformation across all areas of your life, I'm hosting a masterclass from chaos to calm on December the 6th. It is next week. So I'm going to add that on, if you're on my YouTube or Facebook, I'm going to add that across the screen. You can register Gracefully Productive /webinars if you're watching on social media. Hey, Rochelle, thank you for joining. If you're watching on I'm sorry, IG, you can click the link in my bio to register, or you can go to gracefullyproductive.com/webinar. It is a free masterclass. I haven't done one of these since 2020. I kind of miss interacting. The teacher in me likes to interact with people. So it'll be a great community. Everybody's striving. So you may even meet somebody, network and add someone to your network and be able to work on yourself for the new you for the new year. Thank you so much for joining me. I am going to be back with you next Tuesday and Wednesday to round all of this out. If you missed any part of this series, you can go to my YouTube and subscribe first, but you can catch up on all of these series. They'll be up by the end of today. And please share with someone who you know needs this, who you feel is stuck in the cycle of burnout, just not happy. Share it with them. They can be inspired by it. But thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a terrific rest of the week. And I hope you are eating and hydrating on this lunch break. So thank you so much. Bye, Instagram. Thank you for joining. And thank you for joining me on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. Bye-bye.